It's a beautiful Saturday as we kickstart the season. For me, I call it kickstarting the season because there is a very big game for me today, which will be played by Woodland Stadium, if I'm not mistaken. That's at 15 hours sharp. That's Sesco United versus LD. That's a Charity Shield game that will be played. Welcome to Off the Pitch, a show that gives you nothing but the best in terms of sports highlights. And I'm your host, Amos, aka Amore. And I'm not alone as always. I'm joined by one Ango Rapson. Ango Rapson, welcome to the show.
Thank you very much, and good morning, dear viewers. It's always nice to be here, and the great day that we've been waiting for, the season opener, is on today. And interestingly enough, it's the league champions who are facing the ABSA champions in the season opener this afternoon. And it's always a pleasure to go and watch this kind of a game that sets a very serious tone about how the league is going to be. And the rest of the Premier League is watching how organized these teams have been. They've been very busy in the transfer market, and it will be interesting to see the new signings from both ends and just exactly how the game is going to turn out. But it's been a very brilliant week. A lot of happenings have taken place during the course of the week, and it will be very nice to just browse through those and just go through them.
Well, Augustine.
Thank you very much, Amos. We return all the glory and honor to the Most High God for the gift of life and good health. It's been an interesting week. We've seen the Champions League draws, the Europa League draws, and we've seen the likes of Rangers making it into the group stages of Europa. It's good for Zambian football because we will have PATSON, DAKA and Fashion Sagala playing in the group stages of the Europa, and we look forward to these afternoons. Ketan Reyes and Samuel Zoom Love Charity Shield. It's a repeat of last year's Barclays ABSA Cup final, which Lusaka Dynamos eventually won on penalties. It's going to be interesting to see how prepared these sides are, because if you look at match fitness, I think they do not have that in their tank, and we just hope to see a very good game at 15 hours.
Before we delve more into the game that's being played today in the afternoon, we'll just take a very short break, and after that break, we'll just have a short clip to show you the preparations, or maybe the talks that they had yesterday.
Are you a small to medium enterprise looking to advertise your products and services within your community and across Zambia? In these economic times, we are here to help you grow your business. Advertise with us on Camnet Market. Camnet Market is offering lower rates for prime time advertising between 06 to 18 hours every day to give your business an edge under the new normal and beyond. For more details, contact us on the following numbers: 097 975 3010 or 096 296 5883, as well as 096 244 726. You can also reach us via email on info@camnettvafrica.com. Camnet TV, not just another channel.
Africa is rising to a new dawn of integrity and accountability. Are you tired of being swindled or buying fake or illegal properties? Would you like to sell or buy genuine property? Would you like to list your property on both local and international market? Don't waste your time. Call the professionals, the SGK Properties, on +260 762 166 018. SGK Properties. Your business assurance is our priority.
Good that we have this game to play, because there are certain players that we need to assess, especially those that were inactive last season, those who had injuries. Those are the players that we want to assess in this game, so that we see how ready they are, so that as we prepare for the CAF game, I think we'll have a good insight about everyone.
Our team in Lusaka Dynamos is ready. We've been preparing the team for the past 6 weeks. We had a 6-week cycle, and the team is ready. coming to tomorrow's game, it's part of our preparation into the league. So far so good, and we are eager to see what we have put in tomorrow's game. And they are going to come with maybe they have assigned new players, which I believe they are there, and we just have to take it the way they will come, and they will absorb whatever punches which will come. But I believe at the end of the day, we are confident that we'll carry the day.
I think for this one, all I will say is it will be an entertaining one because we injured them. So this time around, I think they'll come on us. We're going to do the revenge on us. But everything is set, we've prepared, and we have the capacity to turn the tables around again. So everything is set. We see it tomorrow.
Happy faces there by one Mr. Numba, or maybe one Numba, as they were having their last press, as today they face each other. But today one will be smiling, the other one will be crying. And go PATSON. Who are you going with first?
Zesco United. Clean and square. Zesco United, their preparations have been very, very much on point. Their acquisitions in the course of the transfer window have been very, very much on point. And I think for me, it's a youthful team, and with plenty of experience, of course, up front. And I think facing a team like Lusaka Dynamos, I wouldn't think that they would be in a position to lose in the finals twice, because of course, yeah, this is a charity shoot, but unfortunately, I don't understand the arrangements where the proceedings of this game are supposed to be donated and given to charity, where the funds are not going to be allowed in the stadium. So I really don't understand how it's going to turn out. But clearly, I don't see Zesco United losing to Lusaka Dynamos, because it's a repeat of last season's Absa Cup final, and Numba Mamba's caliber and preparations with regards to the continental football, I think he's been on point, and I would like to watch that Shimba boy this afternoon. I only hope he's given a starting berth at Zesco United, and it will be very, very interesting, really. Jesse Were is in the squad. He traveled with the team. Apparently, the South Sudan guy is not part of the squad this morning, I think. And it would have been nice to see how defensive he is with aerial balls with regards to his height. But I don't think he's going to be part of the team this afternoon. And I think over and above all, we are hoping that we have invited one guest from Lusaka Dynamos. Our General Secretary should be coming in to join us anytime if he's going to make it. But I think over and above that, Lusaka Dynamos don't stand a chance this afternoon. It's a game of 90 minutes. It's 11 against 11. But when you look at the preparedness of the teams, I think Zesco United is more prepared with when it comes to this afternoon's game.
Augustine, is your money on Zesco as well?
I think it's an interesting encounter. I think for both sides, you start assuming to go in the season. I think to me, we are going to see a lot of what these guys are going to offer coming into the 2021-2022 season. Lusaka Dynamos and Zesco United. Lusaka Dynamos were a very, very big disappointment last season. They were one of the sides that were tipped to qualify for continental football, but it didn't come to pass. But alas, they managed to win a trophy under the Absa Cup. I think that was a boost for Lusaka Dynamos to try, and it should motivate them to try and take the next step. If you look at Zesco United, they look very, very organized. They look like they are the strong side on paper. If you look at the acquisition of Dixon Chapa in holding midfield, I think he's going to bring a different dimension to Zesco United. He'll protect that back for very, very well. He's the type of guy who can go in between the centre backs and split the centre backs and start building play from there. We're going to see what Edward Lungwood brings to Zesco United. He's quick, he's direct, he always running at defenders. He will bring the creative part to this Zesco United side. I think if you have to be honest, last season the creativity was heavily on Kelvin Kambamba Muanga. Whenever he was closed in games, you would see Zesco United, they would struggle. Kasomoluawa was very, very interesting lad last season. We want to see what he can bring to the table this season. It's the second season in the big league for him. ENOCK Sakala, can he be the man for Zesco United this season? Because as a country, the national team were struggling in terms of strikers. This lad shows that he has got the potential to get into the national team. It's going to be an interesting encounter. Lusaka Dynamos managed to play the Absa Cup with one man down when Paul Banda was shown a red card. They managed to weather the storm. I think one of the most promising players from last season, Makambaniso Magenge, did very well in that game. He eventually went to play right back. He was very, very solid. I expect Lusaka Dynamos to play a very compact game. They will close the spaces for Zesco United. I wouldn't be surprised if they play with two holding midfielders to try and hit Zesco United on a counter. They have got a lot of attacking talent, Lusaka Dynamos. They have got Emmanuel Chabula. They have got Tite Mweshi from Prison Lopez, who did very, very well. They have got Obashi. I think Uncle Rapson is laughing because of Chabula. Yeah, I think if you look at Emmanuel Chabula, he's the kind of guy who can hold on to the ball very, very well.
But is that his job to hold on to the ball?
He's a little bit quick. What he needs to work on is his first touch. His first touch leaves an awful lot to be desired. His finishing, I think he needs to work on that. Overall, Chabula is a decent player. If you remember his time at Kikto United when he came into the Super League, he helped them qualify into the Super League, and his first season in the Super League was very, very good. If he can go back to what he was doing right at that time, Emmanuel Chabula, and be a different player, be the difference for Lusaka Dynamos going into this season, it will be very, very key for them. And I hope Wada will assemble a very, very strong squad. Not just for this charity shoot, but for the entire campaign. It's going to be a tricky game today at 15 hours because these players, I think there's a little bit of lust. I think they do not have that sharp edge. I think the cutting edge is not very there. If you look at fitness levels, a little bit down. So we may see not a very entertaining game, but as the season grows, we will see very good football.
We had one number saying it's a chance for him to show, maybe to give chance to these new signings. Are we seeing him experimenting in this game?
He's likely to do that because when you look at the likes of Dixon Chapa, who's away with the national team, leaves space in the holding midfield at Zesco United because now they have to use players that are not very, very well known out there. But I think the type of material and the type of playing style that number has employed at Zesco United, I don't see him losing shape. It's a situation where you are basically saying different manpower, same setup. So whoever fills in the hole where Dixon Chapa has been training with the team and where he's holding midfield, we need to see how that turns out to be, because when you look at the likes of Collins Kombe, if that team is well prepared and the way I see it, this game is going to be on in midfield, because when you look at the two teams. The midfield that Zesco United is likely to put, like Numba mentioned, is going to use this game as an experiment to see whether different combinations are likely to work. But generally speaking, it will be very, very interesting to see how dynamic the changes are going to be with regards to their continental football, because we only have about a week away from them playing their first international games. So we will see how it happens, but generally speaking, the experience of Jackson Were up front there, Ian Yoteno in goals, and the likes of Faxon Kapumbu, the veteran Kapumbu. It's Solomon Sagala is not part of the squad today, and when you look at how the defense is going to be organized, we have Simon Sulimba probably is going to play on the right side of the field. If they are going to use George Shimba, Shimba on the left side, I would like to see how Adrian Chama will partner, who's going to partner Adrian Chama at the heart of central defense, just to make sure that the likes of Emmanuel Chabula are played out of position today. Because if the midfield is going to do its job correctly for Zesco United, which I'm a bit skeptical about it, but clearly if they are going to do the correct thing today, I can assure you that when it comes to finishing, the front line of Zesco United is very lethal. Very, very lethal, if you ask me.
And I think just to add on corruptions, talking about the battle will be won, the one who wins the midfield battle wins the entire game. I think one interesting player we need to look out for going into the season for Lusaka Dynamos will be Lasa Kiara. I think he brings something different to Lusaka Dynamos. They play him a little bit high up the field. I think certain times that Zanakwe was played very, very deep, you couldn't see him get past people and be very more creative, but he's someone who's very, very direct. He'll pick a pass, he sees a pass. I think it's going to be interesting to see how it pans out.
So what's as we conclude on this one, Angola, so what's your prediction score?
It's going to be a tough one. The last match, Lusaka Dynamos played with one man down for a significant period of the game, and they still went on to win that game. And today's game, really, it's not even an issue of 11 against 11. It's commitment to the team and commitment to what your role is in the squad. And I think when you're given an opportunity to be part of the starting 11, you've got to understand that there are 11 other players who are seated outside, and you've been given a chance to play. So it will be very, very tight if you ask me. And of course, I have already gone for my prediction. Zesco United is going to win by a long goal to nil.
Augustine?
I think it's going to be a very, very cagey encounter. It might be decided only by one goal, but I'll go with Zesco United on penalties.
Post penalties. Our lads are in Morocco and corruption where they are doing their training ahead of the qualifying games. We are starting with Mauritania, but when you look at the announcement that was made, that is the players that are playing in like abroad. When I say abroad, I mean these guys that are in England. There's a possibility that they won't be with us. So that's meaning there is Fashion Sakara, ENOCK, MWEPU, and PATSON, DAKA. How do you... Okay, what's your take on that first?
Well, there are a couple of stakeholders who've been involved at this point, and it was always nice to see CAF getting into that battle. It was also nice to see the FIFA president joining in the battle and just requesting in the interest of the sport, asking the FA. Probably the biggest victims will be players who are playing in England, and I think for me the interventions that have been made, it's just right that the FA and the English Football Association just gives the players who play for African teams to just come, because one of the victims is actually the Uruguayan international Edson Cavani. He's also affected when it comes to that rule if they implement it, and he was very, very annoyed about it because it seems Manchester United also were backing that particular code to say red hotspot. The countries that are in red, those that are normally referred to as COVID hotspots, the players will not be allowed to leave. But I think the intervention that FIFA has done and CAF, we should be able to see those changes coming up, and these players should be available. My worry is only on Fashion Sakala. I'm not sure whether he's going to be very fit to actually come and participate in the game. We saw one ENOCK MWEPU getting injured in the course of the week when he was playing in the Carabao Cup, and the team went on to win, but he got off the pitch, and only hoping that it's a minor injury and is going to be ready for the team. But clearly, I am very optimistic that these players will be given an opportunity to come and play and represent their countries in Africa.
Let's look at the last time. The last time when something like this happened, Augustine, it's a time that we only saw ENOCK MWEPU coming in, but that for me, that was a bit late. Because there is need for the jailing in of players, because at times, the jailing of players for me, I feel like it costs us. So let's look at it. What if they are released 2 days before the game or a day before the game?
I think what we need to have in mind is that we are in the times that we are in, they are unprecedented. I think we are all learning to live with this COVID. I think it's very, very difficult, not just for the players, but for the football clubs. Remember, these players are owned by these football clubs because they are the ones who have got their contracts and they're the ones who pay them on a weekly basis. So they call the shots. I think that's the side that we need to look at. I think back then, when Arsene Wenger was at Arsenal and Robin Van Persie was also at Arsenal, Van Persie had gone to play for the Dutch, and Wenger communicated with the Dutch FA and the technical staff saying Robin should not play more than 70 minutes. He can only play less than 70 minutes. And he went to play for the national team. He got injured because they played him more than 70 minutes. And what did they do? Arsenal sued the Dutch FA because Arsenal are the owners of Robin van Persie, because they pay Robin van Persie. Robin van Persie does not have a contract with the national team. He has the contract with the football club. So you look at the football clubs, these guys, they are into this business for them as well. They are looking at situations whereby if we release a player to go into these red hot spots, I think the British law is 10 days quarantine when you go back. So during that 10 days, they are going into UEFA Champions League games. They are going into Europa League games. So they have got that pressure because
in fact, immediately after the international break, it's Champions League.
Exactly. So the clubs
are the pressure is.
They are thinking in those lines to realize, like Liverpool, you lose Mohamed Salah when you are going into the crucial Champions League games, because Champions League, it's important how you start, because it shows how you finish the group, and they've got league matches. This is the start of the race in the league, so that this is when teams are trying to gain momentum. So if you look at the thinking from the club side, they are looking at it on the side that if we lose our player, 10 days they're out. Let's take a good look at PATSON DAKA. He's trying to settle at Leicester. ENOCK MWEPU trying to settle at Brighton. If they lose him for 10 days, it's a very, very big miss for them, because once you come back from that 10 days, you need to start going through the process of maybe individual training, trying to gain your fitness, because those guys will just be in the room for 10 days. It's very, very tough for both sides, the club and the association. Sometimes if you look at it from another angle, European, they're just trying to try and show that they are very, very powerful, because we've had Italy, we had a lot of deaths, people dying with COVID. We had Spain, people were dying with COVID. But why wasn't it happening at that time when David De Gea, Jorginho were going to play for the national team? It wasn't happening for them. But now for Africa, because it's Africa, it's happening for them, and it will be a very, very big loss for Africa if these Premier League players do not come and play. Because if you look at the composition of the Algerian team, for example, they do not play any local player. So if they are going to lose almost half of their European players, I think it will be a disaster. And these are not friendlies. These are crucial World Cup qualifiers. And this is a start. Maybe it might be a bonus for Zambia, because we have got local players, we use local players. It will be an added advantage for us. But realistically speaking, if it happens that PATSON, DAKA, MWEPU and Fashion are not allowed to travel here to play these qualifiers, we need to look at plan B. What is the plan B for Quicksilver? This is what's worrying me the most, because I think we can replace ENOCK MWEPU. If we have to be honest, we've got a lot of players in that creative area. We've got Cletus Chamachota, he can play in that creative area. We've got Radi Walia, we've got Emmanuel Banda, we've got Klings Kangwa. There are a lot of players in that area, but the worrying part is PATSON DAKA. Look at the teams that the players that Quicksilver called to the national team. Top scorer of the league, Moses Piri, not part of that team. Friday Samo, runner up to Moses Piri, not part of that team. So you get a brand winner who scored 7 goals and is the one who is part of that team. So I think the thinking behind dropping Moses, he missed.
Okay, are we foreseeing them being caught off at
I think it won't make sense.
The most important thing here, if you ask me, is be prepared not to have them. If they come, it becomes a bonus. The most important thing is we've had time to prepare the national team. They are away in Morocco preparing, because the Moroccan environment is similar to what Mauritania is, and they are trying to acclimatize and just get used to that kind of environment. But when you ask me, really, the absence of these 3 players, when you look at the options that we have, I think we can manage to do without them against Mauritania, but back-to-back games against Tunisia, I think we need that experience. Even the name itself, for me what is more important is even the name itself. When you are facing Mauritania, the Mauritanian squad should be in a position to also get very worried, because we are featuring players that are actually playing in the English Premier League. And for them, it gives them a little bit of some headache, even during their preparations, to say, we are coming to face a guy from Brighton, we are coming to face a guy who plays for Rangers, coming to face a guy who plays for Leicester City. It gives them that kind of psychological defeat, which gives the rest of the players an advantage. But the type of strikers that Beston took, I think
Husband has got an issue with the strikers.
Beston Jambeshi has been banking so much on the availability of PATSON DAKA and Fashion Sakala. That is why he got what I call average strikers. They are basically average. When you look at Jimmy Mukea,
he's a young lad.
He's a young lad. You can't throw him in the deep end against Tunisia and expect a miracle to happen. It will not happen. When you look at our very own Brian Mueller, where he's supposed to, where it is more easier to miss than scoring, he scores. He does the opposite. Where it's more easier to score, he does the opposite. He's an opposite. And that's a striker that we have. And probably for me, it's a very big headache actually.
So in short, for now, the challenge comes in the attacking part.
That's the biggest problem. I think to me, just what Angorapson said, I think to me, it doesn't make sense in the sense that we opted to go with Brian Mueller and Jimmy Mukea. Brian Mueller experience, yes, he's played at this high level, he scored against Algeria, but it's not the same Brian Mueller of that time. If you look at young Jimmy Mukea, he's played continental football, he's gained a little bit of experience, but this level is a little bit high for this young lad. Now you go, if we do not have PATSON DAKA, what do we do next? I think the next question, a lot of people have been calling, maybe now is the time to go Moses Spirit. I think to me, why does he drop Moses Spirit in the first place?
I'll explain why.
I'll
explain why.
If it's not your plan B, you have got a plan A, which is PATSON DAKA and Fashion Sakala. Plan B was Brian Mueller. You cannot go and pick plan C, Moses Spirit, who was out of the picture completely. I would rather we go with maybe Augustine Mulenga. He's a little bit quick, he's a little bit strong, he's been doing very well in the PSA. We can play down the middle and supported by clever players, or maybe the likes of Edward Chirufia, the likes of Klinskamp, where they can support him in wide areas, and maybe Kelvin Gambamba Mwanga, who's been doing very well for Zesco United. So we do not have a proper plan going into this game if PATSON DAKA and ENOCK MWEPU do not turn up. And if you look at what we lose from PATSON DAKA side, especially in the game against Tunisia, he's a guy who is willing to run in behind the defense. He's the guy who is going to put pressure on the opposition when they are in possession of the ball. He's going to start the press for the national team. I think that's one thing we lose out, because we cannot have another striker who can do what PATSON DAKA does. And every time when he's in the box, he's very dangerous. PATSON DAKA, I think we lose that going into the qualifiers if it doesn't come.
So for now, when we look at what are your favorable options, you brought in Augustine Mulenga, but favorably when we look at the number that we've spoken of PATSON DAKA, but let's look at the replacement for ENOCK MWEPU. He's a box-to-box midfield. Can Cletus Chotachama cover that?
The experience that Cletus has, for me, in the holding midfield role, I think Dickson Japa will be the main man there, and no hard feelings to anybody that is contesting for that particular position. But I think the ability and the agility of Dickson Japa should be able to guard his back four very well. In the creative midfield, where ENOCK MWEPU normally maneuvers, I think the experience of Cletus Chama can resolve that problem. He can resolve that problem very well. Of course, there are quite a couple of players who can fill up that role, but I think the experience of Cletus Chama, and I'm only hoping that Cletus, where he has gone, he will settle down quickly so that we are able to.
Let's just pick this call. Hello.
Yes, hello.
Hello. Good morning.
Yes, good morning.
Your name and where you are calling us from? Oh, that's nice. How is Kito this morning?
Kito is fine. We have expected for Super Bowl to pray for the game.
Oh, okay. You are happy that the game will be brought that side?
Hello?
I'm saying it's a happy thing that the game will be played from that side.
I can get you.
Try to cut and call again. Angorapson, away from that, he's very happy and very excited that the game will be played from that side. You could hear from his face.
But
but let's look at the number of fans that will be allowed.
5,000 is too little, but we have to go by CAF regulations. 5,000 is too little to make that kind of noise. The stadium is too big for 5,000 fans, and the most important thing is at least a few fans will be allowed in to watch and cheer the boys. And remember, that game is going to be played in midweek. I think we are hosting Tunisia on the 7th, and that game is going to be played during the course of the week. So I think 5,000 fans, for me, it's a right step in the right direction, but I think half of the pitch would have been better to just keep the boys the morale that they need. But I think to the Copa Belt guys, be warned that 5,000 is going to be filled up by most of us from
it's interesting to see the fans back 5,000.
Are you a small to medium enterprise looking to advertise your products and services within your community and across Zambia? In these economic times, we are here to help you grow your business. Advertise with us on Camnet Market. Camnet Market is offering lower rates for prime time advertising between 06 to 18 hours every day to give your business an edge under the new normal and beyond. For more details, contact us on the following numbers: 097 975 3010 or 096 296 5883, as well as 096 244 726. You can also reach us via email on info@camnettvafrica.com. Camnet TV, not just another channel. The Camnet October Conference is fast approaching. To participate in the forthcoming conference, you're required to book your seat by paying 750 kwacha per person per day. Date 1st and 2nd October 2021. Venue, the Healing Word Ministries International in Ibex Hill. Guest speakers include Professor Reda, Professor Munkumba, Mr. Nkuruma Kalaluka, Dr. Musonda, Dr. Sitima, Anthony from USA, Dr. Mwale, Honorable Bob Sichinga, Elias Bondela, and your hosts, Pastors Victoria and Moses Chiluba.
The deadline for payments will be 28th September 2021. Any late payment made after 28th September will attract a penalty fee of 200 kwacha per person.
Make your payments through mobile money. For MTN, 096 296 5883. For Airtel, 097 975 3010. Our banking details are 913 000 182 5325. Stanbic Bank, Kablonga Branch.
Welcome back to Off the Pitch, and it's always nice, like I said in the very beginning of the program, that we are going to have a very special guest this morning, and we are glad to be joined in the studio by one General Secretary from Lusaka Dynamos Football Club by the name of Francis Wadia. And welcome to the show, Francis.
Thank you. Morning, viewers.
Francis,
yeah.
When you look at Lusaka Dynamos and how they participated in last season's league and where you are now. By the way, congratulations for winning the ABSA Cup, and it's always nice to be associated with something at the end of the season. And you know, your participation in last season, you just missed qualification to the top 4 by a very, very small whisker. How do you rate your performance for last season before we get to where we are now?
Last season performance for us, it was a plus, because after 2008, that's when we had a cup in our cabinet. But last season we managed to get the ABSA Cup, and which was very good for all of us, the management and the players, because we prepared for ABSA and the league. And equally this season we are also preparing to be in the top 4 and even win the league.
Let's look at the transfer market. When you look at the transfer market at this point, where Lusaka Dynamo is actually preparing now after winning the ABSA Cup last season and coming into this season, let's look at the number of players that you've managed to acquire during the course of the transfer season.
You know, it's been very difficult with the pandemic we have as COVID-19, and I think most of the clubs have been hit, and ourselves, I think, because, you know, it's run by private people, you know, and we've gone in the market, and we've tried to get 1 or 2 good players, and I think by Monday
you'll be unveiling some players.
Unveiling some, yeah.
Okay.
But we've been in the market and to try and balance up our team from what we had last season.
Okay, now when you look at the number of foreign players that you have and the incoming of the quota system, how prepared are you in the transition? Because when I look at the rules which have been said with regards to the quota system,
yes,
you've been given this coming season as a transitional period before the actual quota system is implemented.
Yes.
How prepared are you as Lusaka Dynamos when you look at the number of foreign-based players that you have at the club?
No, we are prepared. If we are bringing a foreign now, we are prepared because, you know, the quota system, I think, is simply telling us that we need to have the cream of foreign players in our league, and this is what we're trying to do. So we are well prepared towards the transition to the quota system.
Okay, coming to this afternoon's game, we have Lusaka Dynamos taking on Zesco United, and it's a repeat of the ABSA Cup final that happened last season, and you emerged victorious with 1 man down in that particular game. How prepared are you for this afternoon's encounter?
We're always prepared for any game, but you know, we'll try and use players who we're trying to see if they can help us in the new season. But we are prepared, and we hope to.
You know, Francis, this particular language where you say you're trying to use players, it's the same language that Coach Numba used yesterday, where you're trying to like tell the other team that this is an experimental game where we are trying to test a couple of players that we've acquired and see whether they will be able to acclimatize and just join in the team and just gel in the team.
Yes.
In the actual fact, reputation is at stake here when you look at the actual game. Because I don't see Numba, I don't see Zesco United bowing down to the pressure of Lusaka Dynamos beating them again, which is likely to happen. But when you look at the pros and cons of meeting the same team that you beat in the finals and how difficult this game is, it's not going to be a game of chances. What is your view about?
No, very true. I think the way I'll put it is that we'll put in the best players to play. But most of them, because when you register a crop of players, they're all the best. So, best
no. One last final thought with regards to this afternoon's game.
Yeah.
The season is coming.
Yes.
What is the target that you have as Lusaka Dynamos in the upcoming season? This afternoon is going to be a test of how prepared you are for the coming season. Mm-hmm. But I think every club has got targets that they set at the beginning of the season. Are you able to discuss what the target is for this particular season? What do you think you are able to achieve on top of the first trophy that you've had from way back as 2008? You only came and won it this particular last season, and now that you are in the right place at the right time with the right manpower and the right coach in Wedson Nyirenda. What is your target for this particular upcoming season?
You know, our target always has been to be number one, and if we fail to be number one, we should be in the range of number 4 to perform in the continental competition. And we are going to defend the Absa Cup again.
No. What are your final remarks to the fans who will be watching Lusaka Dynamos and Zesco United? The stadium hasn't been opened to the fans, so probably it's going to be played behind closed doors. But what is just your take to the fans? What is your appeal to the fans out there that will be watching this game live on air this afternoon?
They will enjoy good football.
From which team?
Both teams.
It's always nice to have you around, and thanks for getting our call on short notice, Francis, and we appreciate the gesture that you made to come and just appear on our show, and we hope to have you more as the season begins, and we want to say thank you for coming and hoping that Lusaka Dynamos does exactly what you've prepared them for this afternoon. And to the viewers out there, stay glued to the TV. The game is at 15 hours. Venue is Woodland Stadium. Zesco United, the league champions, are taking on the Absa Cup champions in Lusaka Dynamos. We'll take a very short break and we'll be back on the other side.
Africa is rising to a new dawn of integrity and accountability. Are you tired of being swindled or buying fake or illegal properties? Would you like to sell or buy genuine property? Would you like to list your property on both local and international market? Don't waste your time. Call the professionals, the SGK Properties, on +260 762 166018. SGK Properties. Your business assurance is our priority.
Are you a small to medium enterprise looking to advertise your products and services within your community and across Zambia? In these economic times, we are here to help you grow your business. Advertise with us on Camnet Market. Camnet Market is offering lower rates for prime time advertising between 06 to 18 hours every day to give your business an edge under the new normal and beyond. For more details, contact us on the following numbers: 097 975 3010 or 096 296 5883, as well as 096 244 726. You can also reach us via email on info@camnettvafrica.com. Camnet TV, not just another channel.
Just an interview there with one Mr. Francis, the Secretary General for Lusaka Dynamos, and he's just rushed. We just called him, just a quick one to say, okay, what's your overview in terms of the game that will be played today? But Augustine, a quick update in terms of the games that are being played today and the games that are being played as at now.
Yeah, currently Red Arrows are taking on Chambeshi at the Davis Stadium. Zanaco have traveled to Tanzania to take on Yanga in one of their ceremonial games. Is it against Yanga? It's going to be an interesting weekend because a lot of teams now are wrapping up in terms of their preseason, and this is their final phase of preseason as we kickstart the season.
Let's look at before we came to also on a break you complained something to say Ghana is done. Let's look at the transfer market.
And Ghana is playing it very cool actually, and I think we've been very quiet in the transfer window, and we are only hoping that the right things are being done. We've just lost one Sotra Shmenga who has joined Red Arrows. Very good addition if you ask me to Red Arrows, and as they are preparing for continental football, that is one guy who's going to give them that experience up front. Hopefully it will be a very good alternating switch between James Chamanga and himself, and when you have those two senior players with that kind of experience, and when you look at how Red Arrows has been preparing, Chisimbewe, they brought in one Oswald Mtapa in the technical directorate after the departure of Charles Kafula. I think the airmen mean business this season. They do not want to only get on a plane once and come back and start playing continental football using their buses. So probably their preparations are that they need to fly a couple of times in continental football, and it's evident and eminent from how prepared they are. When you look at one Zanaco Football Club, when you look at the list of the players that have flown out to Tanzania to play against Yanga, Yanga is not a small team in Africa. It's one of those upcoming teams, and I think it's a household name in Tanzania. And having a friendly of that magnitude for Coach Kelvin Kaindu is a very, 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 very good preparatory match for continental football. And the squad that has traveled is very, very interesting. Aki Mumba is part of the squad that has traveled, and I think Zanaco is also preparing the team very, very well.
So one interesting part was what Uncle Rapson has highlighted about also Mtapa joining Red Arrows. I received a couple of questions about concerning the move, because a lot of people are concerned and worried that this happened to Napsa Stars when they appointed technical director Ona Janza and got relegated. I think the difference between this appointment is that Ona Janza was once Red Arrows coach. He understands the way the club is being run, and he worked alongside Chisimbewe. And another thing is that Red Arrows already had that position. It's not that this is when they are forming it up, this position. Arrows had this position. It was with Charles Kafula, and now they wanted to bring on someone. Rumors were in that Matthew Spear was probably the favorites to take that position, but they have opted for Opswad Mtapa. So it's not something which will create a lot of division, because everyone understands their role. Unlike Napsa Stars, they just created that role when they went to continental football.
You've cleared the wave.
Exactly.
Let's look at an interesting figure that has made a lot of noise in terms of when it comes to social media and corruption, the transfer of, we go abroad now. The transfer of one Cristiano Ronaldo, something that I even sent you. I sent a text last night saying, was it a good move?
For me, it's the best move. Of course, it's not those best moves that you can say it's the best move that Man United has ever done. I think the biggest achievement in this particular transfer is that he hasn't joined Manchester City. That's the biggest achievement for the history of the two clubs. And I think it had to take the intervention of one Sir Alex Ferguson to make sure that the lad doesn't go and feature for a competitive team. I think the last player who did that between the two teams was Michael Owen.
Carlos Tevez.
And Carlos Tevez, yeah. But when you look at the richness of the club and the quality of the type of player that we have in Cristiano Ronaldo, it was going to be very, very, very disappointing if he had joined Man City. And Man City, if they had acquired the services of Cristiano Ronaldo, they were probably going to be rated as a team that is buying the Premier League title. As in buying the Premier League title, because the team they already have now is very lethal. And to add Cristiano Ronaldo to it, they were going to be creating another PSG in the EPL. So for me, he's joining Manchester United. It will bring that experience and that depth. And I think the young lads in Mason Greenwood, James, Rashford, they will learn quite a bit of things from Cristiano Ronaldo. Because if he's going to be playing alongside Edson Cavani, who is also one of the veterans at 34, 35 years, the Uruguayan international, I think Manchester United is in very, very good hands at the moment in one Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. And we only hope that these speculations, these rumors, and the confirmations of these transfers is actually sealed. For me, I'll be very happy. The terms have been agreed. But it would be nice to see the lads playing in the next game, and I'll be very, very glued to the TV to see how good this boy is.
Augustine, how did you take the news?
I think it's been one interesting move. If I have to be honest, I think when the announcement was made, I think 2 hours later it had attracted 1 million likes.
Of course.
Interesting. I think to me, look at it from both sides of things. I think the market side of things, Manchester United are going to gain a lot of finances in terms of bringing in Cristiano Ronaldo into the football club. I think to me, would have seen the Glazers, they lost touch with the fans, so they wanted to do something in this transfer window to try and bring back that confidence from the fans' perspective. I think if you look at Ronaldo, what does he bring? He brings in a winning mentality. He's a proven goal scorer. He's a legend at the club. He's returning as a legend of one of the best players who have ever played the Premier League, but it's not the same Premier League he played when he was at Manchester United. Things have changed, so it's going to be very, very different for him. But if you look at the entire Manchester United side of things, I think the negative side of this transfer is that there was a project which was ongoing to try and bring youth players, young players, energetic players, and you would have seen the signing of Jordan Sancho and Rafael Varane. Varane was probably trying to make that defense a little bit solid. The next move was Manchester United was going into the market to try and bring a holding midfielder, and it was always looking like the guy who would be on top of that whole project would be Erling Brand Haaland, because he's young, he has got a relationship with Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. But I think now it will probably bring a little bit of confusion in terms of that transfer happening next summer. If you look at from the side of Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, this puts extra pressure on him. How can he manage the egos in that dressing room? Now there's Cristiano Ronaldo, who is probably the driver of the team now, because wherever Ronaldo goes, he commands the dressing room. He's always the boss. But Ole Gunnar Solskjaer now, the difference is he brought in Rafael Varane. Varane is a winner. He's got a winning mentality. Bruno, you can see from the way he plays, is a winner. He's bringing Ronaldo, who is a winner.
Departments covered?
He wins every season. So now the pressure is on Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, a manager who is not a winner. How will he get the best out of these players? Maybe by like the way Zinedine Zidane did at Real Madrid.
Your final remarks, and go up, so looking at time.
Augustine and Man United. Well, for me, my final remarks really are that I'll stick to local football for now. But I think the coming in of Cristiano Ronaldo, before I shift to my closing remarks, is a situation where you are trying to build even your backroom staff for the future, because he needs to retire at Man United. We need him in that back end. The same way that we brought back Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, who understands the discipline and the ability of Manchester United. Very, very critical. Remember, we had one David Beckham who thought he was outgrowing the size of the club. What happened to him? He was kicked out. Discipline is at the core of Manchester United. So even the coming in of Cristiano Ronaldo, if he thinks he's going to bulldoze his way and just pull over those small kids, talented kids that we have at Man United, it will not happen. So discipline is there, and for me, it's a very, very good addition to the squad. Lusaka Dynamos versus ZESCO United this afternoon. The game is at 15 hours. Fans, let's be glued to the TV. The stadium is still not open. Let's continue keeping our fingers crossed. The national team, the stadium is open. And I think with time, it's just a matter of time, the stadium should be open to the fans. Stay glued to the TV. Don't go to the stadium. It's closed. Have fun, enjoy, and all the best to ZESCO United. And Lusaka Dynamos may be the best team win this afternoon.
Augustine, your final remarks.
I think Bola Pazed is back. It's my first love. I think we leave Bola Pazed, and big thanks to the viewers out there that tuned in to watch this show. I think we're nothing without the viewers. And a big shout out to my sister Diasi Mwanza. It's her birthday today, and a close friend Prudence Masia, it's also her birthday today. Happy birthday to the two of them, and we are looking forward to Liverpool versus Man City, or Liverpool versus Chelsea, and Man City versus Arsenal cracker.
You call that a cracker?
Both are a cracker.
Arsenal, yes. And Man City is a cracker.
Yes.
Arsenal caused a disappointment to Man City. Anyway, Augustine has made it so clear. Augustine has made it so clear, it's his love. Bola Pazed, he lives Bola Pazed, we talk Bola Pazed. But then we've come to the end of the show, and all roads leads to Woodland Stadium at 15 o'clock. But like Uncle Rapson has said, just stay glued to your TVs, because the game will be beamed live from there. And like on behalf of the whole entire crew, for not forgetting one Precious Mzea Sakaleji, Isaac upstairs, and one Elijah, not forgetting our pastors, that's Pastor Moses and Victoria Chilwa, for giving us this platform to give you nothing but the best, because we are not just another channel. Stay glued to the TV, as Amazing Katamana is coming on your screens with nothing but the best in terms of the weekly gospel show. I've been your host, Amos, aka Amore, and I'm out.